Action Comics number 4, written by Grant Morrison, art by Rags Morales. We left off last issue with the alien thing that we've been teasing for several issues, taking control of the production line, making some robots, and then John Corbin gets in a steel soldier suit and becomes the voice of the alien thing. Anyway, this issue picks up basically right where we left off. Lex Luthor is running for his life from this alien through John Corbin that is rampaging, asking where Superman is, and Lex is like, "We had a deal, dude. Why are you attacking me?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, you didn't give me Superman." Then we go to the production line where Lois, Clark, and Jimmy are at, and Clark very quickly makes the assumption of, "Hey, maybe we should run." So he runs off, leaving them behind, which they quickly follow suit. We cut over to Dr. Henry Irons, who sees the news on the TV of all these crazy things attacking, and so he puts on, or at least he gets out, basically what looks to be his Iron Man suit. I know it's a steel suit, but, we have not been introduced to this at all. Like, I have no idea why they have this. Anyway, so all the robots are going around and seemingly attacking people. Superman shows up. He's wearing his usual t-shirt garb, but this time it's a white t-shirt. So I don't know if he had... Because I think last issue he threw it out. Like, there was a brief little thing that I was very confused about where he threw out his blue t-shirt. So I guess he just found this one on, like, a street vendor thing. But anyway, he starts punching through the robots, telling people to get out. And some people are like, well, they're probably all after him. Just take him, and then they'll leave us alone. Which, of course, whatever. But as he's beating up the robots, the police come up and they're like, "Superman, you're under arrest." He's like, Are you kidding me? And they look over to this giant robot that just burst out of the factory. And he's like, "All right, slap on the cuffs or let me do what I do." So they just pretty much let him do what he does. But as he's about to start, like, this thing is just picking up tanks and attaching it to him and then just able to fire the tanks. So he's up for a bit of a fight. Everyone's just kind of taking in everything. Jimmy and Lois are trying to get out, and they're realizing that the robots aren't harming people. They're just taking things. Like, they're just taking things of note. Like, they were going to museums and just picking up the items. Corbin lands on the hood of Lois's car, and he's like, "Hey, Lois, do you love me now? I'm a Superman. Please help." So Lois steps out, and she's like, "Oh, hey, John, could you, I don't know, maybe fight against it?" And that doesn't exactly go well. So John, he starts losing to the voice of the colony, as he calls himself, and he's like, "Ah, yes, I will preserve this planet and blah, blah, blah. But tell me, where is Superman?" And Superman, of course, comes up, punches him in the face, and he uses his X-ray vision for a second and says, "Uh-oh," and then nothing comes of it. And I'm really not sure what that's supposed to be. But regardless, he starts getting shot by the soldier suit, and Lois is just yelling the whole time. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on that doesn't matter at all. So he's still fighting through robots. He's trying to take out John. He is losing hard. There's one point where he flies back and he lands behind a truck where Lex is escaping from. And he tells the truck driver, "Hey, turn around, turn around." And the next panel is them just running over Superman where he landed in the road. And he's like, "Yeah, got him." I mean, pretty much. That's exactly what happened. And he's like, "All right, cool, we got him, move." And then they say that they commence the dwarf star lensing. Something happens, and then we see that everyone has been shrunk down, or at least, I guess that's what you're supposed to get from it. I know they've been shrunk down, but in reality, we see that there's like some spiders just hanging in front of them, and everything seems a bit, I don't know, cut off right there. So then Superman looks up. He's like, "Okay, city's gone. John Corbin's still here." So then Dr. Irons come in his full Iron Man suit with a giant sledgehammer, whacks Corbin in the face, and he's like, "Superman, you take care of the city. I'll take care of this guy." And he just starts beating him up with the sledgehammer. We see inside of Metropolis how they are trapped in there. He's like, you have been bottled, preserved for all time. In 1 hour, it will be complete and irreversible. Welcome to my collection. As we see supposedly the Collector in a caterpillar-looking suit thing. Sure. Superman standing there. He's like, oh, I hear them. They're not dead. They're still around here somewhere. Corbin disappeared, apparently, according to Irons. And then Colonel Lane steps up and he's like, hey, my daughter was in there. Superman, you're going to save her. He's like, oh, yeah, no, I'll just do whatever you say. Anyway, yeah, I do have an idea, but I might need a little help. And that's where we leave off. There is backups, I think, at this point. They're all collected in the back of this. I'm not going to go through them, but I think this one and several others focus on Steel, aka Dr. Irons. So if you want that, there it is. But as for this issue in particular, it's good. It's fine. I like it. Like I said, it feels like it's all just one extended fight scene. Like, it starts off with the invasion and ends with their capture, and nobody did anything to slow down anything. You know, it felt like this whole thing happened in literally like 2.5 minutes. Which, if it did, that's fine. There's no problem with that. But they had to pace it over the course of all these panels, and just felt like, okay, why do we need Lois screaming? We have Lois trying to talk down John, saying that his favorite band is the Red Hot Chili Peppers and all this extra stuff, and it's just, I don't know. It feels like it was just padding for the sake of, okay, we need to end this on like a cliffhanger, and the cliffhanger I want to go on is we see this crater of where the city once was, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, but it's just like, okay, could we maybe have, I don't know, put a little bit more of maybe Steel in there, of understanding what in the hell he's doing? But no, we have the backup, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm giving it a 7. I know I sound a bit hard on it, but I am giving this a 7. The art is fantastic. I really have no problem with any of that. It's just paced a bit weird, you know? It's like all of this happened so quick. Yeah, I had no sense that Superman was fighting for anything more than like 5 minutes max before it was like, all right, and we stole the city, bye. So yeah, I give this a 7. It's fine. I'm more so just looking to see the next issue, because I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's like, okay, Superman's doing something cool, instead of, all right, Superman's punching some robots of what are actually no consequence.